Hi guys, Colleen from Walking the Resonant Path here. I just wanted to tell you about the second novella in Nora Roberts' book, where she's got two novellas in one book, and I've already done one for the first novella, which was Spellbound. Now the second novella was called Ever After, and I've just finished reading that novella. They're 130 pages each novella, so they're very, very short, very short, quick reads. And as I said, I really like the first one. That was basically, as I said in that review, was like basically reading a fantasy novel in a short form, and she did a really good job of putting a big fantasy novel in a short form. I thought it was very good like that. So now for the second novella, which is called Ever After, I will read the blurb like I do. When I say she, that's Nora Roberts. I'll read the blurb like I do, and then I'll tell you what I thought of it. Elena has always struggled to get her life on track, and true to form, on a trip to Ireland, a strange storm leaves her stranded on a distant island. Elena is forced to take shelter with her rescuer, the rugged and handsome, surly Hugh, but Hugh is horrified to see Elena wearing a beautiful and ancient pendant, a sign that fate is catching up with him. He fights at every turn, but the enchanting Elena alters his life in a way she never thought possible. Now, the first problem with this book is that the lover's name isn't Hugh. On the back, I read it exactly as it was on the blurb, and it kept saying Hugh this and Hugh that. Well, Hugh, this would be a totally different book if we were talking Hugh, because Hugh is actually the dog. In the novel, Hugh is actually the dog. So whoever wrote the blurb wasn't paying much attention, because Hugh is the dog. The man that they're talking about is Connell. His name is Connell, not Hugh. That's the first problem I had with this book, with this short novel. It was reasonable. I didn't mind it, but it wasn't as good as the first one. I much preferred Spellbound, because Spellbound had a story that drew you forward. It was a love story, Spellbound, but it also had one that drew you forward, whereas Ever After was pretty much just basically a lover spell with some mentions of maybe they've got fairy blood, maybe they've got elven blood thrown in. And it didn't make it that compelling to read. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the character of Elena or Connell, not Hugh, who was the dog. But Elena and Connell, they were fine characters, and I liked the vibe of having a cottage on an island by the sea. And I liked the witchy vibe and that gave, and the fairy suggestions, that they were fairies, and there may have been fairies around them and stuff, or from a line of fairies and stuff. So all of that was nice, and also anything set in Ireland or of the islands, off the coast of Ireland. I like anything to do with Ireland. My name's Colleen. I was named by my Irish grandmother. So, and I have Celtic heritage, so I like anything sort of set in Ireland. So, it was okay. And Nora Roberts is a really good writer, so you could feel, how you were on this island, away from everybody, with the sea surrounding you, and this nice little cottage with this lovely dog and this rugged man and stuff. So you could get the gist of it. That was really nice. But it just had nothing that drove the story forward. Whereas in the first novel, The Spellbound, that had a bad guy. You knew something bad was going to happen and stuff. The second one was just basically a love story that suggested, that they should get together, and, because they belonged together, sort of like a soul love story, that they were searching for each other. And it was well written, it was fine, but it just had nothing to drive you to want to read the story much. So because of it not having much of a plot, but it's still really well written, the characters were good, but also you should get the blurb right on the back. You shouldn't get the guy's name wrong on the back. So for all those reasons, I think I'm just going to give it a 3 cauldrons, because I thought it was well written, and, you could get the witchy vibe, but it wasn't really that exciting. So that's a 3 cauldrons for Nora Roberts' Ever After. And if you wanted to know, for the Spellbound, I gave 4 cauldrons, because that was really, really quite good. Okay, well, I just wanted to do a quick review of the novella Nora Roberts' Ever After. Okay, well, I hope you have a glorious day and do whatever resonates within your soul. Bye now.